other people were there in general. It's just this lawsuit technically does sound like an April Fool's joke, but no, it is not. This is a real lawsuit filed by a real attorney, and this man claims that this did all happen.
A new Diddy accuser claiming he was sexually assaulted, raped, and humiliated at a freak-off party in Miami, and that other big stars saw him in rough shape.
Sean Diddy Combs is facing new accusations of human trafficking as he awaits his federal trial.
Upon leaving the event, plaintiff overheard defendant Diddy ask defendant Eric, "You're going to be getting rid of him, right?" To which defendant Eric responded, "Yeah, I'll be taking care of that."
Imagine waking up in sheer panic. You're completely naked, wearing only a bizarre mask, and being paraded around a lavish party inside a Miami mansion. Now imagine that some of the world's biggest celebrities, LeBron James, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and Gloria Estefan, are allegedly in attendance, witnessing everything unfold without lifting a finger to stop it. It sounds like something straight out of a dark Hollywood thriller. But the terrifying part is it's not fiction. This is the core of a federal lawsuit currently playing out in Florida. The plaintiff has used his real name, submitted detailed medical records, and provided an extensive legal complaint in pursuit of justice. If you enjoy stories like this, don't forget to subscribe for more. At the center of this disturbing case is none other than Sean Diddy Combs, long hailed as a music mogul, the king of extravagant parties, and the world's first hip-hop billionaire. Now he's embroiled in what could be one of the most career-ending scandals in the history of modern entertainment. What makes it even more chilling is the growing possibility that every word of this nightmare might be true. In most high-profile lawsuits involving celebrities, plaintiffs usually choose to remain anonymous, protected by pseudonyms or legal measures. But Joseph Manzaro took a different route. He revealed his full identity, appeared in court, and faced the entire legal process head-on. That decision alone shows either an extraordinary level of courage or an unshakable belief in the truth of his story.
LeBron James, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Gloria Estefan, those are some of the names that appear in an explosive new lawsuit filed by a Florida man against Sean Combs, claiming he was a victim of sex trafficking and kidnapping at the hands of the music mogul. So why are these celebrities mentioned? What are the allegations? And most importantly, does any of this hold water?
In a lawsuit spanning dozens of pages, Manzaro claims he was the victim of a meticulously orchestrated and manipulative scheme allegedly masterminded by Diddy and members of his inner circle. According to Manzaro, everything unfolded in April 2015 during what he called a freak-off party in Miami. He alleges that he was drugged, kidnapped, and publicly humiliated in front of some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry. What makes his accusations especially shocking is the level of specific detail he provides. Manzaro recalls being drugged around 5:30 p.m. and even names the exact mansion where he woke up, the home of Gloria and Emilio Estefan.
A new Diddy accuser claiming he was sexually assaulted, raped, and humiliated at a freak-off party in Miami, and that other big stars saw him in rough shape. TMZ is all over this story. Branson Quirk joining us live. Now, Branson, let me get this right. This new Diddy accuser is basically claiming he was sexually assaulted at the freak-off party, and he claims that other celebrities were there as well.
Yes, exactly. In this lawsuit, it's important to note that these names are not being sued, but they are named as witnesses inside this lawsuit, those names being Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Gloria Estefan, as well as LeBron James. Just to paint you a little bit of a picture of this horrific lawsuit, a man by the name of Joseph Manzano, he claims that he had, in the beginning of this lawsuit, he claims that he woke up in a mansion, this is way back in April of 2015, in a mansion owned by Gloria and Emilio Estefan, and when he woke up not knowing how he got there, he was then led through a tunnel to Diddy's house, and we can confirm that Diddy, his home is nearby to Gloria and Emilio Estefan's home, and once he was through this tunnel, he eventually came across and claimed that LeBron James was walking by in a towel of sorts, saw him in rough shape, and said, someone's got to do something about this, and then continuing on through that, they ended up stripping his clothes. They put a demoralizing mask on him, a genitalia mask of sorts on his face to humiliate him. And then he claims that Beyonce and Jay-Z saw him in this mask, prompting Beyonce to then ask, why is there this man in front of me wearing this mask? And then claims that going forward, he doesn't remember too much more, and he said that he was drugged and everything. So
he describes everything vividly, from what people were wearing to the words they said. He claims LeBron James saw him in a panic state, wrapped in a towel and carrying a shaving kit, and allegedly said, "Somebody needs to do something about this." A strange twist is that public records confirm LeBron was in Miami preparing for an NBA game the next day, raising the uncomfortable question, could Manzaro actually be telling the truth? If you've ever thought of Hollywood parties as nothing more than glamorous gatherings filled with champagne, flashing lights, and thumping EDM music, Joseph Manzaro's account will completely shatter that image. According to his lawsuit, the term freak-off wasn't just slang for a wild night among the elite. He describes it as a twisted ritual performance designed to humiliate, meticulously planned behind a glittering facade, where guests were drugged, degraded, and manipulated, all while celebrities looked on without intervention. What Manzaro depicts goes far beyond a party that got out of hand. It sounds like a calculated psychological breakdown engineered by people in power. He claims that after being taken to Diddy's mansion, 2 women, allegedly assistants in charge of entertainment, forced him to strip naked, took him into a bathroom, and rubbed an unknown oil all over his body. Then they placed a grotesque black leather mask over his head, locked it tight, dressed him in nothing but tiny underwear, and paraded him around the house like an object. Every hallway in the mansion, he says, became a stage for mockery and humiliation. People laughed, pointed, even recorded him, as if he were part of some twisted performance. Among the attendees, Manzaro says, was Jacob the jeweler, a well-known figure in the entertainment industry, who looked shocked and allegedly asked, "What the hell is going on here?" But no one answered. Then came another encounter with LeBron James, who Manzaro claims once again saw him, wrapped in a towel, wearing slippers, visibly shaken. According to Manzaro, LeBron said, "Somebody needs to do something about this." But perhaps even more disturbing than what happened to Manzaro was the complete indifference of everyone around him, as if this brutal spectacle was just another expected part of the evening, not something outrageous or wrong. In the lawsuit, Manzaro states that in one of the mansion's larger rooms, Beyonce was also present. Upon seeing him in such a degrading condition, she was reportedly stunned and asked, "What is going on? Why is there a naked man in a mask standing in front of me?" To that, a man standing next to her, allegedly, smirked and replied, "Diddy wants everyone to see what happens to a traitor." Every step Joseph Manzaro took through that mansion, according to him, marked another moment of his dignity being stripped away. He says he wasn't treated like a human being, but like a symbol, a prop, a warning. Manzaro claims he was forced into acts he didn't consent to, involving multiple people, until he eventually passed out from a mix of trauma, exhaustion, and whatever substances had been forced into his body. When he came to, he was no longer in the mansion. He had been returned to his own apartment, where, according to the lawsuit, he was once again assaulted, this time in a more brutal and personal manner. The aftermath left him with injuries both physical and emotional, ones he claims he is still struggling with to this day. The truth is, even before Joseph Manzaro's lawsuit hit the headlines, rumors about Diddy's private world had been circulating for years. As far back as the early 2000s, whispers echoed through the music industry about his secret parties, events where champagne and glamorous guests were just the shiny surface, while the real entertainment took place behind closed doors. There's even a saying that used to bounce around Hollywood's backrooms: if you get invited to one of Diddy's parties and you don't receive a handbook of what not to do, then maybe you're not close enough to leave safely. That line used to sound like a joke. But now, in light of these allegations, people are wondering, was it actually a veiled warning all along? Freddie P., a former member of the music group Band, once mentored by Diddy, didn't hold back during an interview on the art of dialogue. "I saw how he controlled people," Freddie said bluntly. He didn't have to yell or raise his voice. Just one look from him, and everyone knew exactly what they had to do.
I was enjoying it because it's just one type of party, man. Just stay to yourself, mind your business. I'm not even looking at you, nasty bitch. Like, I'm just like, I know y'all not looking at me. You get what I'm saying? At that time, man, you just happy to smoke weed, man, in privacy, man. We were just happy to get away from everybody and get our weed in the air. Like, when I hear stuff about Puffy right now, I'm like, yo, how far this nigga done came? Because if anybody can remember, it was an episode where he put us off his bus for smoking cigarettes. Now I hear the nigga smoke cigarettes, he do drugs, he do this and that. Like, what? This nigga was disciplined. This nigga hated cigarette smoke. He couldn't read. Like, people didn't know that. Like, he had a dyslexia. He couldn't read. The nigga was like, he couldn't read. Like, his reading was slow. Yeah, he had to learn how to read. Like, when we was there, he was like, there was like a secret, but he couldn't read. Puffy couldn't read. Like, I'm not lying. Like, the nigga couldn't read. Like, well. And you can still see it with his acting and stuff like that. That's probably why he won't get a lot of gigs that got teleprompters and stuff like that. But I be listening to him now, and I'm like, yo, he done got better. Like, you know what I'm saying? He done got better now with his speech, education, everything, but he just couldn't read like that. Like, that's what they told me, and I hear the nigga reading some shit, he be stuttering and shit. Like, oh, maybe it's true.
When asked whether Diddy should go to court or settle things quietly, Freddie didn't hesitate. Man, he's already been convicted by the court of public opinion. That ego of his is gonna drag him down before a jury even gets the chance. And Freddie isn't the only one speaking up. Former collaborators, ex-girlfriends, even security staff who once worked for Diddy have come forward in interviews and live streams, hinting that the public image of Diddy is miles away from who he really is behind the scenes. One backstage crew member even revealed that Diddy hated the smell of cigarettes so much he once kicked artists off his tour bus for smoking. But in stark contrast, rumors suggest he used substances far more dangerous than nicotine. And perhaps what has shocked the public most is that this isn't even the first time Diddy's been accused of serious misconduct. In late 2023, his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, filed a lawsuit accusing him of years of abuse, control, and coercion. That case was settled out of court in less than 24 hours. The lightning-fast resolution raised eyebrows everywhere. People began to ask, was that massive payout just hush money, carefully calculated to keep even darker truths from coming to light? Looking at the bigger picture, from Cassie's lawsuit to Freddie P's testimony to decades of persistent rumors, a disturbing image begins to form, one that's hard to ignore. The story of Diddy doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's surfacing at a time when the entertainment industry is going through a reckoning, an era where unchecked power, silence, and abuse are no longer being swept under the velvet carpet. When Joseph Manzaro filed his lawsuit, it wasn't just about holding one man accountable. A much more uncomfortable question was raised. Has the entire entertainment industry been rotten from the inside out for far longer than anyone dared to admit? Think about this. In just the past few years, a growing list of public figures has been swept up in shocking allegations. Russell Brand, once a beloved comedian, was accused of sexual misconduct and emotional manipulation. Jonathan Majors, once seen as Marvel's next breakout star, lost numerous lucrative contracts after being charged with assault. Even Trey Songz, a music icon in his own right, has faced repeated accusations tied to VIP parties and alleged abuse. And now, with Diddy's name at the center of an almost unbelievable scandal, the public no longer sees these stories as isolated incidents. Instead, people are starting to view them as part of a much larger cultural reckoning, a long overdue purge of an industry that has hidden its darkest secrets in plain sight. For Hollywood's inner circle, the moment of truth has arrived. The things once ignored, excused, or dismissed are finally being dragged into the light. Suddenly, Manzaro's lawsuit isn't just one man's personal tragedy. It has become a mirror reflecting an entire system that has buried countless truths for decades, a system built on complicity, silence, and unchecked power.